Very quick response to Gary DoNotGod on one of his variety pack videos. Okay, I think I'm just not been expressing myself properly, because you got the impression that I'm saying that value is an expression of feeling rather than in something intelligence recognises. No, that's not what I'm saying, although it may come across like that. What I'm saying is that there are two components that seem to be in operation when we um, uh, make certain choices or judge things in certain ways, including probably moral choices, although that's something I'll come on to. One of which is to do with reason, and one of which is to do with what I've been calling the felt sense or feeling. But what I would say is that when those things are in conflict, as they sometimes are, then it's usually the feeling sense which trumps reason. If we have the choice, if it seems, at least anyway, that if we have the choice between doing the right thing because we know it's the right thing intellectually, or doing the right thing because we feel it's the right thing, we'll usually follow our feelings on that. I'm not saying that's right, I'm just observing it in the world, really. Okay, I just want to go on from that. Value is not hunger, you say, something like that. Value is not hunger, value is recognising the qualitative reality of something. Yeah, again, I would agree with that. That's pretty much what I'm trying to claw my way towards, really. Yeah, it's. I think there is something about hunger or about desires, and this kind of felt sense that accompanies an understanding something's right, or the understanding that something is meaningful, or it's true, or it's morally appropriate. Those kind of things. And I would absolutely agree with your statement, which I paraphrased as built up that wall, which is that wall between thought and feeling. I think if anything, I would say that recent trends have driven towards a greater regard for the felt sense, and a greater kind of rewarding of what's sometimes referred to as emotional intelligence, which is kind of fine, but it's only, to me, it's only fine as long as there's the checks and balances put in place with the other kind of intelligence, which, as you rightly point out, allows us to step outside of what feelings were there for, which is the protection of our individual self and the satisfying of those hungers and desires. Emotional intelligence is only valuable if we can put it into a system that's got those other kinds of intelligences at work, and absolutely, if necessary, build up the wall between them. I would hate to live in a state in which right or wrong was judged by the feelings, according to the feelings of one individual, for example, or according to the feelings of the majority, even. We need some kind of other system in there, I think. There is something else I want to just say at the end here, but it is interesting that towards the beginning of your video, when you're talking about this stuff, you suggest that it's in relation to one of the other videos you discussed, which is about how motivation works. How, whilst it would be nice if we were motivated by the beauty of the universe, the beauty of the universe as described by science, for example, and and all these videos that are flocking around YouTube at the moment, which are kind of musical accompaniments to Stephen Hawking's voice, and lovely pictures taken from the Hubble Space Telescope. I mean, this is great. Beauty in the universe is fantastic. And what you say is that it would be nice if that was a motivating force, and if we were kind of drawn and attracted to the light of these beautiful scientific images, and threw out the foolishness of religions as a response. But as you say, we are probably not motivated by those, or if we are, we're additionally or otherwise motivated by what you say is fear and disgust. We reject, we run away from things at least as much as we're attracted to other things. But really, I think that's a recognition on your part of what I'm talking about. That's your way of framing what I'm talking about in terms of feelings and the felt response, and about making sure those motivations are checked. Whether their motivations are fear and disgust or beauty in the universe, they have to be checked against rational processes, interpersonal processes which will try to achieve that project which you talk about at the beginning. I don't think it's quite as easy as you suggest, but I don't think it's impossible, which is to make a slightly better world for us all to live in, really, I suppose. Yeah, the only question I came out with at the end of it, because I think again I'm pretty much in agreement with you, really, or large parts of what you say, not everything, but enough. But the question is, and it's it's an intellectual question, I guess, which is about this notion of value again. And I'm just wondering here, would we have the concept of value at all if we'd never had feelings? If we were completely sterile, if we were all like Data or Mr. Spock, we just didn't have this felt sense which motivates us away from fear and disgust, or motivates us towards beauty in the universe. If we'd never had those feelings, would we have an understanding of value? And if we did have an understanding, what would it be like? Would that be just like a ledger sheet, where you weigh what the pros and cons of every decision and that's it? Or would there be other different kinds? I mean, so that's sometimes how you come across, Gary. When you talk about efficiency and productivity, it sounds like you're making that kind of economic decision, which is fine, but I don't know what I'm saying there really. I guess I'm just saying, would we have this idea of value if we'd never had the emotional motivation to provide a currency for it, or a way of measuring it? Anyhow, it's a good video. Thanks for that, Gary.